need to have it. Hold on. I need to have it in front of me.
Yeah.
So this was actually like an $8 helmet from, I think, Party City.
No way.
And we spray painted it, and I got leather pieces from Michael's, which was probably like $5 or $6. Here is actually curtain rod rings from like the Dollar Tree. So I taped them together and then painted it. And then the red is actually clay. So next time I probably won't use the clay because it's a little bit too heavy. Diameter is a little bit too big. So I am going to revamp it. I already bought a new mask in the style of Robert Pattinson's mask.
Nice. Okay.
And then I actually bought like a steampunk style goggles. And I obviously, I ripped one of them off because I'm going to try to do it, which is more accurate to her comic book look. Because I've modeled my costume after the McFarlane figure.
Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Side Projekt Podcast. Yes, let's take a sip from our Run It Up mugs. So good, and I need that today. I want to apologize just in case. Sometime last night, I started feeling a little bit under the weather. You know how you start feeling like a little sick depending on how it creeps up on you, you know what I mean? But for me, like I'm starting to kind of feel it in my head. I feel a little bit foggy, you know what I mean? I feel it like in my eyes a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit lethargic, you know what I mean? So I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. So forgive me if at any point throughout this episode I seem a little off. I'm a little slow today, you know what I mean? But if you want to take a sip out of your Run It Up mug and you don't have one yet, you can go to the Side Projekt merch store via sideprojectpodcast.com and you can get one today, including everything else that you see me rocking up here, all the other mugs, hoodies, tees. I think we got some shorts up there. We got hats. What else we got? I think we got backpacks up there now. That's right. We got a backpack up there, dude. You got to go get one. We got leather jackets and bomber jackets, all kinds of cool stuff available on the Side Projekt merch store via sideprojectpodcast.com. But if you tune in to this show regularly, or you're even just a part of the cosplay community in general, then you've obviously heard of Creative Cosplays magazine, a friend of the show, as Kyle has been on the show in the past, a great dude, and we had a great time. But Creative Cosplays magazine has just recently put out a new type of issue, the Cosplay Mastery Issue, Tools, Tips, and Techniques, a 24-page issue that is not only stacked on the cover with tons of amazing cosplayers, but inside as well, stacked with expert advice on things like crafting, wig styling, info on materials for cosplay, and even things like photography, social media, and more. And many of the guests on the cover have been previous guests on this show, previous cosplays of the week, or even project panelists at live events as well. And it's so cool to see like everybody come together. You know what I mean? Like on one big cover is like 35 different people and also a few good friends of mine. And it's awesome to share the cover with them because I'm on the cover as well as Ezio from Assassin's Creed. And that's totally cool, man. I'm honored. And all the photos are by Bryant Cox Photography, who's also been a previous guest on this show. But the new issue was created as an annual issue that will be promoted year round and will feature new content each year. And it's available right now in digital and in print on creativecosplays.com. Order yours today and be a part of the awesomeness in the community that we all know and love. And don't forget, the Star Wars mid-season submissions, they open April 1st. So submit your Star Wars cosplays for a chance to be featured in the mag and or on the cover. You never know. These are not the droids you're looking for, but this is the magazine you're looking to submit to. Get published today. But anyway, let's get into the bread and butter of this week's episode because my guest this week is an East Coast native being featured on the show as a previous cosplay of the week. She has awesome renditions of characters like her Catwoman, featured in this impromptu shot by the ever-amazing NY cosplayer, or even the purple suit variation depicted here by Jonathan W. Cabrera, a phenomenal shot. Her punchline is also something that you should pay attention to. John V. Photography on the photos here. And on the Marvel side of things, her Elektra is a standout cosplay, or even something like her Domino, of which I got the opportunity to shoot myself, or even something outside the box that I think deserves a little bit more shine, her Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, just to name a few. She does these awesome do-it-yourself tutorials on Instagram when it comes to making cosplays or even makeup. She's been a guest at Cosplay World, a guest at NYCC. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and give a warm welcome to the one and only Poison.
Oh, it's so good to be on the show. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, hell yeah. It's been a long time coming, actually. You featured as a Cosplay of the Week. When did I feature you? That was in 2024, right? Did I feature you as a Cosplay of the Week? Or was it the beginning of this year?
Or maybe it was the beginning of this year.
I can't remember.
Me neither.
I can't remember, but I know it was for your Domino, and then I think it was for your Sally as well, I believe.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amazing cosplays, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to have you here. It's been a long time coming. You know, I had you as a Cosplay of the Week. We met at Cosplay World. We shot at Cosplay World. You know, it's awesome to finally be able to talk to you about a few things and get like an insight on who you are and give everybody an insight on a little bit more who you are and what you do and how you do it and everything. You ready to get into it?
Oh, yes. I'm so excited.
All right. So doing a deep dive on your Instagram, you've been posting cosplays on there since like about maybe 2019, at least what's shown on there. And you also cosplay alongside Joey Red Hood 22, a previous guest in Cosplay Week here on the show, as you two are an item. But from the likes of Catwoman, Raven, Poison Ivy, Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, your mistress of magnetism with your Magneto, and so many more that you have. How did you get into cosplay in the first place? And what was your first cosplay ever?
I would say my first cosplay was actually Misty from Pokemon. And
oh, no way.
I did it in high school. I guess what made me, because I didn't even know what cosplay was before. I just looked at it as a costume, but I did a closet cosplay with my Misty. And I had my Togepi, the red straps. I even dyed my hair orange for it. It was hard to get it out, but I mean, it got it done.
I bet.
So that was when I was about like 15, 16. And then when The Dark Knight Rises came out, that's when this all started. It was a rabbit hole. The only thing I had seen before was Batman, the animated series growing up too. I wouldn't say I was like into superheroes. It was just, a cool show, as a kid.
Yeah.
And then when I watched The Dark Knight Rises, the rest is history. I became obsessed. I started going down that hole and buying comic books and trying to find out more things that I could. And then ever since then, it was like, okay, well, this Halloween, what am I going to do? Okay. Then I did Harley Quinn. I did the Arkham City one, from like Spirit Halloween. Yeah. And the two-tone red. And it's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Good old place to start, if you really don't know how you want to get into it. Because, Joey stuff looks like straight out of a movie. And I'm over here like, I want to use like real clothes that's lightweight. And
it's awesome though.
It kind of started with Harley Quinn when it comes to, I guess, comic book cosplays.
Yeah.
I even bought red pants and spray painted half of it black because I hated the pants at the Halloween store. Yeah, I guess I really consider Misty to be my first one. And then after 2012, when The Dark Knight Rises is like each Halloween. So I did Raven, I did Harley Quinn. Nice. And they're not currently on my page because, like the first times doing it. Yeah. I would love to revamp my Harley Quinn. I have some things in the work, but I'm so picky about certain things. I bought some things from Spirit Halloween, like the jacket that I really like and the corset. And now I'm thinking about selling it because now I want to, paint my own stuff because now I've been really getting into the more crafting side of it. Yeah. And I'm a big budget person. So I rather go thrifting and I guess buy more closet cosplay style.
Yeah. And make something out of everything that you have.
Yes.
With what you have. You make a great punchline. And the only reason I say that is because like Harley Quinn punchline, that kind of like craziness and like the faces and the, things like that. So I could see you as a great Harley as well.
Yeah, I was always just like, well, I just like to do costumes. I don't like to, like my coworkers used to be like, you LARP. And I'm like, no, cosplaying's not the same as LARPing, but I mean, there are, some people in cosplay that do want to get into the character, no shame in that. I applaud people that like can actually, do that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just a little more on the shy side of it. But when it came to Punchline, I remember seeing Tilly's Techniques artwork on Punchline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I need to do. When I smile, I just need to widen my eyes. Yes. And like when I'm Punchline, I think of that picture and it made me feel more comfortable in it. And Punchline it's like the only character that I really try to immerse myself in when it comes to facial expressions like that, because I'll just do like,
yeah. No, you pull off the Punchline like perfectly, and that's something that I noticed when you posted the photos and everything. You have some Marvel cosplays, such as like your Magneto, your Elektra, your Domino, of which we shot. You actually, we got to shoot your Domino as well at Cosplay World, and it kind of prompted me to do like this different kind of music to accompany the reel, and everything's a little bit more like hip hop ish and like happy, because like kind of the way that we did that video was kind of like messing around a little bit, like kind of like Domino, you know what I mean? And it's pinned on your page for anyone who hasn't seen it. And then your Domino also has these awesome shots by Jonathan W. Cabrera, and then some edits as well by Graphics by JMD, who's a previous guest on the show. That's just to name a few of the cosplays that you have within Marvel. But if you kind of compile everything together when it comes to comic book characters, at least, you definitely have many more cosplays that reside within DC Comics. And the many that we kind of like mentioned a little bit here, your Catwoman, your Ivy, and your Raven, et cetera, et cetera. You also have Black Canary, Red X, Starfire, and that's, again, just to name a few. You seem to definitely have like a little bit of a pull towards the DC side of things. What is it about DC that seemingly attracts you a little bit more than Marvel, if so?
Well, my exposure to Marvel, just like how I got into DC, was really a Batman live action movie. With Marvel, it's the same thing with the Avengers and all that. And I thought those movies were great. Yeah. I just felt, and they're family friendly. True. But like, you're not telling me somebody said, "Oh, like once during the whole time," and like, okay, like, I'm sorry, that's going to be my complaint about the movies and stuff, but it's like, I need a little bit more realism. And that's what I loved about Christopher Nolan's films, is kind of the grim realism behind it, because like a lot of the stuff that superheroes are doing, it's pretty serious stuff, whether it's corruption, whether it's, innocent people getting, a lot of all that stuff happening. And Marvel has, the good comic relief. I thought for a while after that they had too much comic relief, where it's a little cheesy.
Yeah, I agree.
But just like anything else, I mean, any superhero movie, like, I'm still going to watch it because I am a general fan. But I guess it would be that. I feel like DC is a little bit more darker. I don't know, like Deadpool joked.
Yeah.
He's the DC character,
Yeah, it is true. They have a little bit more like that darker tone to it, that grittiness to it. Like I always talk with Jeff Jenkins, Jeff Jenkins Photography. He's been a guest on the show and panelist at live events as well. He's a huge fan. We actually just got done talking about this at MegaCon, at our MegaCon panel. That dark and gritty aspect that DC has to it. I talked about it with Bat Mateo, talked about it with Jeff, and they're big fans of that as well, because it's like that realism to it. Like it connects to your humanity almost as well, because kind of like you said, like we're not jumping around like fairies and like, oh my god, someone got killed, you know what I mean? Like we're going it gets emotional, it gets deep. You're getting your ass kicked or something, you're probably gonna be like, oh you know what I mean? Like you're not just going to be smiling and taking it as, it's not Disney-fied in real life,
Exactly. And so again, no hate on the movies. I will still watch them. They did great. I think it's great for all ages to be able to enjoy superheroes instead of it just being for either just kids or either just adults and stuff. Yeah. But with Marvel, my favorite Marvel character would have to be Punisher, because I think that's the closest thing that comes to it,
Yeah. DC does have that more realism like aspect to it, and again, I'm gonna get into controversial territory with this one. I don't know where you lie either, but that's one of the reasons why I actually liked Zack Snyder's rendition of I like the Snyderverse. Don't get me wrong though, there's a lot to pick apart with it. I know a lot of people are instantly, when this conversation comes up, so many people have so many things to pick apart. I agree. I got a lot of things to pick apart myself. But if we're talking about certain aspects of realism and darker tones, I liked a lot of it, and there was a lot that I would have liked to see continue, like Darkseid. I thought his rendition of Darkseid was amazing. I want that big, brooding, like evil, menacing villain that doesn't look like a human, because that's one of my gripes with Disney is, one, all the villains are kind of the same. Like Iron Man kind of has villains that are kind of just like Iron Man. Ant-Man's got, what is it, Yellow Jacket, I think it's called, or whatever.
Yes,
like, it's pretty much just like Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how the villains tend to go for Marvel here and there. Thanos is great. I like Thanos, one of my favorites, but they're also like all like humanoid. Even the ones like Thanos, they humanized them a little bit. Even though they did a great job with it, they humanized his appearance, I guess. And what I liked about what Snyder did was Darkseid, he didn't look like a human. You could tell he was from another planet. You could tell he was from somewhere different. That's what I liked. So that's a little bit of my controversial take. Those are certain things that I liked. I like Batman just absolutely beating the out of people. I liked that.
Yes.
But that other people didn't like that at all. But that's just me. You know, that's just me. But I will say real quick on my rant, on the Marvel side of things, I it's not just a test on Marvel here. I think that Infinity War and Endgame were two of the best superhero films ever made, in my personal opinion. And it's just the writing, it's the direction, it's the cinematography, it's the acting. I think it's top tier. Those are probably
the
my
music,
top
like it
two.
all
Yes.
ties in together. Like
exactly. So it's not just, we're not just shitting on Marvel. I like the dark tones, but I do think that two of the best superhero movies ever made came from Marvel, in my personal opinion. But yeah, that's my rant.
I did not like Justice League when it first came out, and then Snyder Cut came out, and what was it, like 4 hours? And I was, you know, it took me a long time to watch Endgame because I'm like, I do not want to sit for 4 hours. But I watched Snyder Cut like immediately, and you know, I think I did not like Ben Affleck for Batman, and I couldn't realize why, and I finally figured out.
Okay.
I do not really like him much because in the movies, he's very soft spoken.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to, I don't know, just talk more assertively. Like when he's trying to talk to Arthur and stuff, I feel like he's too soft. I'm like, maybe that's what my thing is. But when the Snyder Cut came out, I don't know, it was a lot better. And I have my own nitpicks too, but I feel like my favorite thing is like Easter eggs. And I thought that was pretty cool, like of the amount of Easter eggs. And I think my favorite thing too was Batman, that warehouse scene.
Yes.
The warehouse scene was pretty sick.
That's one of the best fight scenes. And once again, that's a controversial topic because some people hate it because he definitely killed people. Some of those guys died for sure. You know, like
definitely.
And so people get upset about that, you know, but I don't know. The way I looked at it.
That was my beef too. I did not like him with guns at all. I was like, hell no. Batman with guns? No.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's really far off for Batman's character. You know what I mean? I do get that. But
the nightmare look is pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God, the nightmare sequence, everybody's looks, man, like I would have loved really to see that like played out more. You know what I mean? Like I want to see other characters, like who else had nightmare outfits? You know what I mean? Like that look is one of my favorites. I would have loved to see that play out more. I always think of like video games when I think of something like what I'm about to say. Games where you can choose a class or choose a type, and it's like the same thing in comparison conceptually with cosplay. When you have characters that are, you know, more magic wielding or casters, in games it could be something like a mage or a warlock, but for comics it could be something like Starfire, Raven, or Magneto, not really using weapons but rather using powers, right? But then you have something like a warrior or like an archer, you know, or something or other where you're using swords or daggers or bows or guns, and in this case more closely resembling something like Elektra or Punchline or Punisher or Red X. For me, in video games at least, I've always found myself more intrigued with, you know, casters and, you know, with magic, et cetera, things like that, but not always, but a little bit more so. When it comes to something of that nature in general, but then also within cosplay, what would you say you lean a little bit more towards? Because you kind of have a good aspect of all of them. Do the nature aspects of something like Poison Ivy attract you more, or do you want to throw a whip in your hand and hit the streets of Gotham as Catwoman more? Like what types of, you know, of that angle resonates more with you?
And that is a very hard question. Oh, damn. I definitely love Poison Ivy. My handle is actually not about Poison Ivy.
I was going to ask
but
about that.
it fits perfectly. I've had my Instagram since I was in high school, and it was a personal page for the longest time. And then I decided my original name was Poison Stoner. And then I decided to chop the stoner part. I still partake, but it looks less, I don't know, childish.
Gotcha.
But I cut that part off, and but Poison Stoner is still my gamer tag.
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, you got to keep it for a gamer tag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll keep that. But yeah, I decided to make it just strictly cosplay now, and I thought Poison Ivy fits perfectly because I love Poison Ivy. Yeah. My first exposure was Uma Thurman, so we love her.
Yeah. Classic.
I would love to have her powers, man.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And I love fake plants because I'm so bad at keeping plants alive, but I'm trying. My goal this year is to try to have more of a green thumb.
Dude,
so I would love her.
So bad at that. Yeah, no, me and Tyre, we went and I bought like I think it was like 8 plants. They're all dead.
Oh no,
they're all dead. Like,
See?
I'm so bad at taking care of them. Like, I want, they're good. They're good to have in your house and stuff too, like house plants and everything, oxygen and spreading air and stuff like that, you know? And and then like money trees, if you believe in stuff like that, having money trees and like the things that, they, to manifest and shit, like, but man, I'm so bad at taking care of them. I'm just so horrible at it.
Yeah, I read that a succulent is the easiest thing to try first. So I'm going to go buy a succulent to try that. But Poison Ivy's powers are totally coming clutch because I know that she would teach me the ways of how to care for the babies,
Yes, 100%.
But I carry a knife with me everywhere I go anyway. So I guess I'm already armed.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
But that question is really hard. Like, I just started playing Avowed.
Oh, no way.
Yes, I just started playing it.
I tried it out too.
Yeah, I all I heard about it was similar to The Witcher 3, and that was enough for me to jump on it because I'm obsessed with Witcher, anything Witcher, Witcher 3.
Yeah, it's kind of like Witcher and Skyrim had a baby.
Yes, and I played Dragon's Dogma as well, and it reminds me a lot of Dragon's Dogma.
Nice, okay, yeah.
So I liked it, didn't like it, but I'm really liking it. Like, I play it all the time now, and I'm like, damn it.
Nice,
but you can have like 2 tiers of weapons that you can switch between. I have a grimoire and a wand on one, and the other one I have a sword and a shield. So I guess I have to have my best of both worlds there.
I feel this. I did the same thing. I did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That way, when you go in a situation, you don't really know.
Speaking of types of characters, when it comes to Batman, and it's kind of been something that's been slightly like coincidentally a prominent conversation on the show the last few episodes, and that's DC's Dark Knight's metal series, such as the Batman Who Laughs. And I featured a cosplay of the week recently who was the Batman Who Laughs, and then I had the Ancient God on who does the Red Hood Who Laughs, who we found out on that episode was actually Joey's idea in the first place. Super interesting. Go check that episode out. And then as well as I had not long ago Jussia Lee's on, who also in her past she did a Catwoman Who Laughs. And then if we're going like way back and episodes way back, I've featured some other cosplays of the weeks, had some guests on who've also done cosplay renditions that exist in that realm. And you have a character that exists in that realm as well that you don't see often in general, but we also haven't seen you post much of either, and that is the Drowned. And for those that may not know who the Drowned is, I want to give a little bit of backstory. The Drowned, real name Bryce Wayne, is a villainous version of Batman from the DC universe. She is a member of the Dark Knights, a group of vigilantes from the dark multiverse whose goal is to assist the deity Barbados in plunging the central DC multiverse into darkness. Bryce Wayne of Earth 11 harbored a deep hatred of the Atlanteans for their role in the death of her beloved Sylvester Kyle. And in a quest to avenge Kyle, she spliced her DNA with that of an Atlantean, becoming a superpowered Dark Knight called the Drowned, capable of breathing and fighting underwater. Whenever I see anyone do cosplays that are a little bit lesser known, or at least lesser prominent within the cosplay community, I'm always curious as to like what prompted them to take that route and cosplay that character. So alongside that question, I also ask you, is there any reason that you haven't seemingly cosplayed the Drowned as often in comparison to your other cosplays?
Well, it's because I am working on revamping it, like a Drowned Part 2. The Drowned was actually my first like real build. Like, I made the trident, I made the necklace, and then the clothes, just different pieces. And I made the mask. I'm like, I need something else. Oh yeah. Huge mask.
You
I think
made
that's probably
that
my biggest
thing?
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
I need to have it. Hold on. I need to have it in front of me.
Yeah.
So this was actually like an $8 helmet from, I think, Party City.
No way.
And we spray painted it, and I got leather pieces from Michael's, which was probably like $5 or $6. And then this here is actually curtain rod rings from like the Dollar Tree.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So I taped them together and then painted it, and then the red is actually clay. So next time I probably won't use the clay because it's a little bit too heavy. Okay. And then the diameter is a little bit too big. So I hope I am going to revamp it. I already bought a new mask in the style of Robert Pattinson's mask.
Nice. Okay.
And then I actually bought like a steampunk style goggles. And I obviously, I ripped one of them off because I'm going to try to do it, which is more accurate to her comic book look. Because I modeled my costume after the McFarlane figure. Okay. Because that was the first time I ever even seen the
character.
Yeah. It was everywhere. Whenever, because, it's like we have to, every time we go to Walmart, Target, any store, we have to go to the toy section.
Yeah.
So we go and we look at the figures, and the figure that was always there was Earth 11.
Oh, wow.
I was telling him.
They had that like just out in the open, just out there. I didn't think it was that like prominent. like
it was
sought
before,
after,
and
I
now
guess.
it won't. Now I can't find them anywhere. But thankfully, I bought it already. But I told Joey, I'm like, okay, next time we come, if it's here, I'm going to get it. Because another thing too is like, as much as I love Batman, I do not want to cosplay as Batman himself.
Yeah.
And if I make it feminine, it's Batgirl, you know? And I like Batgirl. I don't know. I just don't care for much about Batgirl. But when I found this character, I'm like, well, she's Batman. So this is a perfect.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I had to search everything I could about it. I went to local comic shops to find her original comic book. Because now, you know, obviously I prefer novels and to buy all of it as a novel.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to get it. But for her specifically, I had to at least find the original comic book. So I have that.
That's cool.
You know, I have like a little shrine for the drowned because.
Yeah, that's amazing. It goes to show you too, like, what you can do with the simplest things, like the way that you made, you know, the mask or the helmet, because it's technically a mask, right? It doesn't go all the way around.
Yeah.
Right?
That's another thing. I did wear like a black veil behind to kind of like disguise the band a little bit more because the band's obviously over my hair. And so I wore a veil over it and it helped.
It looks amazing though. I mean, and it goes to show you like that, just how you can do things with some of the simplest stuff, like going to like, you know, the dollar store or Dollar Tree or whatever you said, right? And like, you know, getting something from Party City, but making it, you know, crafting it and adding to it and doing different things to make it look better. Like someone who also does that too is previous guest in Cosplay of the Week and Project panelist, Capture Realm. He's another one that does a lot of different things that you wouldn't think were just like, you know, quick things or little things or, you know, not gigantic, big budget things. And he does what he can to make it look, you know, as good as he tends to make things look. So just another person who I know appreciates those kind of things. It's amazing. I mean, it looks really good. And I really dig seeing these characters from the Dark Knights metal series because you don't see them that often besides the Paladins of Cosplay. I don't know if you know those guys. You know the Paladins of Cosplay or no?
I don't think so.
They do like all of them. All the Dark Knights metal. Yeah, they do all
I know,
of them.
Critical Mass Cosplay.
Yes, Critical is
I remember when I
that?
saw
Yes,
so when I saw his Batman Who Laughs,
amazing.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, previous Cosplay of the Week. And then CJ Prop Studio, previous guest in Cosplay of the Week as well. He does oh man, I can't remember which one he does now off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank, but there'll be a picture on the screen for sure. But he does another one as well. And they got like a whole group of them. There's a giant group of them, and they get together and they just cosplay the Dark Knight medals, the Dark Knight's medal, and they're like one of the only ones that I ever really seen do it. Besides a few scattered here and there, like you and then the Ancient God doing his Red Hood Last, which is basically a It's not a comic like we talked about. It's a made up idea, you know, which actually came from Joey, an original idea. There we go. So it's really cool to see these characters get some love in cosplay. So you're planning on revamping it, making like a version two?
Yes. Even the Trident. I mean, it was a bitch to make this, and you know, con crunching. I had to end up like taping it all in paint in painter's tape, and then just tape over it. But like, there's clay in here for the weight to like balance, because full the Dollar Tree, foam from Michaels, paint from Michaels, and then painter's tape from Dollar Tree. It took me a while, but like, you know, people make templates online for free. And that's one thing that I would love to get into in the future is like, you know, even making like this, I unfortunately did not record because I didn't have the idea to start recording for stuff until after this. And I'm like, damn, not even pictures or anything of my progress. Yeah. So, you know, it's not like, I guess, I don't know. There's no right way. There's no wrong way to do something. Like if it works, you know? Yeah.
And this definitely worked. It's really cool. And I'm stoked to see what you do with it the second time around. I want to talk to you about some more stuff, and we definitely are going to do that. But before we do that, let's break up the monotony and let's get into this week's Cosplay of the Week. Oh, and this week's Cosplay of the Week is none other than, it's a long time coming, the Googanator. And I'm throwing it up on the screen right about now. And this is of his Hawkeye Halo ODST crossover. This thing is phenomenal. And this photo that we're looking at right now is by Cash Photography. And that's _Cash Photography_ on Instagram. Absolutely amazing. Googs is a phenomenal cosplayer, a phenomenal dude, loved by everybody in the community for sure. And this, 100%. And this like crossover, this fusion cosplay, this mashup that he's done of Hawkeye and Halo is phenomenal. As we all know, a lot of us, we're huge Marvel fans to some extent. I'm a huge gamer, so I'm a huge Halo fan, grew up playing Halo, you know what I mean? So this is super cool to see. And then we also got the opportunity at Cosplay World last year, I believe it was, to shoot his Hawkeye Halo. And we did like a small little storyline. I'll put like a small thing maybe up on the screen, but you got to go hear it because there's actually there's dialogue in it and everything. And that was super cool. And hopefully we can expand on that and make it even longer, man, because this thing is absolutely awesome from head to toe. I mean, look at it. You know what I mean? We all got eyes. We're seeing it. This thing is awesome. And by the way,
no denying that.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, that voice that you hear, in case you're just tuning into this as a clip on Instagram, that voice that you hear is guest this week, Poison. And we're talking about a lot of her DC cosplays because we've come to find out that there's a lot more DC than there is Marvel with her cosplays. And but we are talking about her Marvel cosplays too, and we're gonna be talking about her makeup tutorials and things like that as well. So in case you're just watching this on Instagram, tune into the full episode to get more with Poison. But man, Googs, this is phenomenal, man. And it's really dope in person. It's big, it's bulky. I've always wanted to do a full armored cosplay. I actually have like 3 that I could think of off the top of my head right now, but I won't spoil it because I'm not that kind of person. I never say my cosplays in ahead of time just in case they end up coming to fruition. But I guess I'll give one because we're talking about it. Obviously, I'm a fan of Halo. I've always wanted to do a Halo cosplay, but I gotta tell you, man, like it looks like a pain in the ass. It looks like a pain in the ass, dude. It's like fully 3D printed from head to toe. Like your entire body is pretty much covered. Mm-hmm. Like it looks like so much work, and I'm just not crafty like that. As everybody knows, like Tyre pretty much makes almost all my cosplays. There's very little that I ever do on my own. I'm admitting, kudos to everybody that puts in work. You know what I mean? Like
you just rock the shit out of it.
Yeah, I just try rock it, but I do want to get a little bit more hands-on with certain things myself, but I'm just not a crafty person. Like these hands, they just don't have it with the crafts. Like I can play the keyboard, I'm good at that kind of stuff, but it's just when it comes to crafts and arts and stuff, you guys should have seen even a gingerbread house when I was a kid. It didn't resemble a house whatsoever, trust me. But anyway, it's not about me, it's about Googs, and this is phenomenal, man. And I want to throw up another one, and I'm throwing it up on the screen right about now. And oh shit, wait a minute, how did that get here? This is Googs. This is your stall. This is Googs with Stalin. We're gonna just. I'm sorry, dude. I'm throwing it up on the screen right about now. And this is his dead shot. This is phenomenal, dude. And the caption says, "You're next on my list, Batman. Run if you like. Deadshot always hits his target." And this edit is by Pixel Lens, and the original photo is by Mixed Light Photo. Which, by the way, sidebar, Mixed Light Photo, you are phenomenal, dude. You are absolutely awesome. All the stuff that you've been doing with Mortal Kombat lately, I've been seeing it, and I just want to shout out to you, man. You got awesome work, and hopefully one day I could work with you with my cosplays, man, because you got awesome work as well as catch photography. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier in the beginning. Hopefully I'll run into you guys at some point in time on a personal side note. But Googs, your Deadshot, phenomenal. Something that I also got the chance to shoot myself at MegaCon. Really cool. I love the music that I got to make for your Deadshot, man. It gave me an opportunity to make kind of like this Deadshot-ish that I felt like worked very well and complemented your Deadshot. But this edit itself, Pixel Lens, good friend of mine, a guy that I collaborate with often. Amazing shot. You got all the casings flying around. It's just beautifully done, dude. And you make a great dead shot. You make like a really menacing dead shot. Just ready to shit up. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, before we wrap up this segment, this guest this week, Poison. Do you have anything that you'd like to add about Googs' dead shot or his Halo Hawkeye or any of his other cosplays?
This is absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see the other cosplays that he brings to life. Like you said, he's such an amazing guy. It's always a good time seeing him, and I can't wait to see him at the next con. Yeah,
100%, man. Googs he's just such a good person to like hang out with and be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
seriously.
He's just a good time. Just like positive vibes, man. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Googs on Instagram, please go follow him at _Googanator. And the spelling is up on the screen right about now, because Googs, your Hawkeye, Halo, ODST, and Deadshot cosplay of the week. And kind of when you're hanging out with Stalin too. For me and Poison is amazing. Absolutely amazing, man. Googs is such a good dude. I want to throw a little bit of a curveball at you. And hopefully you don't get too nervous on this one. This is something that I never prep anybody for, and that is now Shotgun Questions. And what Shotgun Questions is a little bit more of a rapid fire segment that never ends up being that rapid fire. That's the irony of it. And that's okay. We always end up having a little bit of a conversation about it, and that's fine. It's a series of 3 to 4 questions depending on time. And like I said, it's nothing serious. It's all fun and games. Let's see how much fun we can have when I ask you. Detailed logistics aside, you have to build a team of 6 characters to fight off a threat on Earth. This could be a team. This could be a team comprised of superheroes or villains across Marvel, DC, any other comic book based company. This could be also mixed with gaming characters or any other forms of pop culture. Basically, whatever you want. You have to build a team of 6 characters to fight off a threat on Earth. Who are your 6?
Damn, dude. And from anything?
From anything. Just pretend you just got a planet-sized threat on Earth, and you have to save Earth. You got to pick.
Batman's always my number one.
There we go.
Batman's definitely on the team. Always on the team. He got the brains for it, even if he can't fight an alien.
Batman.
Fuck, I'm really not a Superman fan, but I mean, they work well together.
Okay.
I'm going to add Superman to that.
Okay, Superman. That's 2.
I'm going to add Anakin or Darth Vader.
Ooh, good one.
That's hard.
A good one. Yeah.
I'm gonna count them at 1. Anakin / Darth Vader.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Damn it, I'm looking around.
Yeah. 3 more.
None of these people are gonna help me back here. And the characters I get so drawn into are ones that don't have superpowers.
I know, right?
I'm going to add Gaunter O'Dim from The Witcher.
Okay, damn. All right. Love The Witcher. Love it. That's a cool pick.
I was originally going to say Geralt, but you know what? I don't know. Let's go a little bigger. Let's put Gaunter right in that to protect something from Earth.
I like that. All right, 2 more. 2 more.
I'm going to add Ciri in there too.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Because
one of my favorites all time.
Oh, yeah. She's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 1 more.
It's so crazy. The ancient god, he picked Godzilla.
Godzilla?
Yeah, I think that was his.
Yeah,
I think that was his last pick. He was like, "All right, let's just throw Godzilla in there." I was like, "What the hell? That's crazy." Dude, Godzilla.
I'm gonna throw an Optimus Prime in there. There we go.
Optimus Prime. Yeah,
I'm gonna put Prime in there. You know what? That made me think way more outside the box. So
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, next question. Out of these Batmen, you've got Keaton, Bale, Affleck, Pattinson. You can only choose one, and the rest and their universe cease to exist. Who do you pick?
Well, you didn't say Kevin Conroy, but that would be my first pick. Was Kevin Conroy?
Yeah. I picked the 4 movie ones. Yeah, I picked the 4 like more beloved live action movie ones. Yeah.
Christian Bale is what really made me get into it. Well, Christopher Nolan, but I love Robert Pattinson's. I think it's more grim realism for me.
Yeah, nice.
And he seems more brutal with the punches. I don't know if it's like the sound effects from the movie and stuff, but
yeah. He's got some anger in those punches for sure.
Yes, and I like with Robert Pattinson, you see more like it's in the very beginning, so you see when he messes up. I mean, the scene that's kind of like, bro, was when that flying squirrel scene, like, bro, he would not have walked away from that. But it's very nice to see when he does. And he doesn't have it all down. And again, it proves, he's still human at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that in live action, something that we've never really seen before. It's really cool to see that aspect. All right, last question. If you could time travel to any time period, any era, where would you go and why? And you can have up to 3 different choices.
Damn, I don't want to go in the past. I'm a woman. Ain't nothing there for us. Especially a Latino woman too. No, I'm going to the future. Yeah. I'm going to the future. I want to be far from this timeline. Yeah.
I always wonder what the future would. Who was it? I think it was Azuka. I think she said 5,000 years in the future. And that one always stuck out to me because people have chosen the future before. They've chosen like 100 years. People have chosen 500 years. But she was like, no, let's go way. Yeah, she was. I believe it was her, and I think she said 5,000, and I was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
See, there we go. Yeah. She's like, nope, no traces of this.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you only choosing one then, just the future?
Yeah, I guess I'd be there with her.
Yeah,
I'd be there 5,000
exactly.
years in because
yeah, I'm curious to see where life goes even in the next 5 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, even games like
10 years.
Cyberpunk, I'm like, is that really what the future's going to look like? Or like, you know, we're supposed to have flying stuff, but maybe it's still poor.
Yeah,
but more technological advances. And
yeah, I'm concerned about AI. I don't want it. I don't want like actual robots. I don't know if I don't trust it.
Like, I don't either. Remember iRobot?
Yeah,
iRobot warned us all.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I feel like we've seen enough movies, you know what I mean, to know like Terminator, iRobot. Like,
yes,
I don't think this is a good idea. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I feel like we should learn from this. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, that was shotgun questions. Wow. Let's continue. Let's keep it going. You do these makeup tutorials on your Instagram, and you're really good at it, you know. And your Sally looks amazing. And maybe I'm biased because I'm just a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan. But I mentioned it several times on this episode already. But you have a Beetlejuice that you've done as well. I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan. Even way down on your IG in like 2020, you did a Chucky from Child's Play, and it's flawless. And I'm a huge horror fan as well. Did you ever take any like classes on makeup or anything? Like, what's it called? Like a beautician or something? Like, or are you just self-taught?
For makeup, I am self-taught. In 2017, I did go to beauty school.
Interesting.
It was with the sole intent of being a hair colorist because throughout high school, I dyed my hair like every other week. I've done every color of the rainbow. So I went there with that.
Speaking of that real quick with hair, I don't know if anybody would think this from me, but I did the same.
Really?
My hair was blonde for a while. I did it red. I did it pink. I've done it blue. Like I was influenced. Actually, that influence for me, it came from Linkin Park when Linkin Park first came out. And you know, Chester had the blonde hair, Mike had the red hair, but he also had blue hair for a little bit. Like that, I saw that and I was just like, that's me. I want to do that.
I want it. I want it.
And I did. I even had a mohawk for a little bit because Chester had a mohawk in the band for a while. Like I was all into that. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any pictures. I don't think I have any pictures of it. I think I have one maybe somewhere of the mohawk, and the mohawk is like blonde. But other than that,
I guess we got to recreate it.
I don't think I have any of the colors. I don't think I have any pictures of it. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in randomly. Keep going. I'm sorry.
I can't even picture that, dude. We need to do something. We got to bring that back. Even get a wig or something. But yeah, I went to school for coloring hair, and then getting in there. You know, the biggest misconception is that, you know, you go to beauty school and people think you know everything. Yeah. Beauty school, they just teach you the very basics. And once you have your license, then you progress your education. Yeah. So they teach you very basics. And so when they're teaching us color theory, and I know color theory when it comes to, you know, I have red in my hair, right? To cancel out the red, I need to put green, you know, stuff like that. Okay. And then like, you know, color is chemistry. And I'm like, oh man. Yeah. I almost failed and flunked out of chemistry. I'm like,
yeah, same here.
Okay. So but I discovered that I really loved cutting hair. So then I ended up going that path of specializing in haircuts and then wanting to become a barber. Unfortunately, that's when COVID happened. So I stopped going to the barbering school. But I've always done makeup. So when I went to beauty school, I was still doing these bold eyeshadow looks because I just loved it. As much as I love wearing black and stuff, eyeshadows, I love bold looks. So I decided to try to incorporate that more into my cosplays. Right. To kind of just, I don't know, like I love canon looks. But I also love looks where people put a twist on things or, you know, just their style of it. I love when people do that.
Yeah. And you do that with a lot of the things that you're like, something I noticed is like your Chucky, for instance, that thing's amazing. Like all of it is just makeup, right?
Yes.
Is there like any, what is it called? Like
scars?
Like what is that stuff called? The prosthetics? Yeah.
So for Chucky, I did not, because that was, I think I did that in 2020. Because I have reposted old stuff before, but when I did it was 2020 and I didn't have that liquid yet. So I just tried to use like red eyeshadow first, then red lipstick with a little line, and then black skinny liner to try to get more of the in-depth looks. Now I do go on YouTube and look how to, you know, make a bruise, how to make a small cut, you know, stuff like that. And people are incredible. And seeing other people show their talents inspired me to want to do that too. Yeah. So that's something I hope to do more too. Again, I'm still trying to set everything up so I can continue because all my cosplay stuff is still packed up.
Yeah. movies
but I'm
and
excited.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah. As someone who doesn't use makeup, me myself, and then even like within my cosplays, I don't really have any that use makeup other than black mask, and it's just around the eyes, so it's not, I just blotch it on there. It doesn't matter,
The Robert
But,
Pattinson.
yeah, it's just like real quick. But I don't use it, especially in the way that like others do, such as yourself, where you utilize it in these type of ways. Is there a difference between, if somebody were to ask you, like, is there a difference between everyday use makeup versus makeup that you would, recommend for cosplay? Because I feel like things can also be situational, circumstantial, I guess, in the fact that it could maybe be more extreme for cosplay. Like as a cosplayer, you're walking around a convention all day. You're dealing with lights during photo shoots. They get hot, you're dealing with heat, maybe outside, sweat and stuff like that. Or maybe even on a colder day outside dealing with, light mist from the rain or something, or what have you, that could maybe mess the makeup up. I feel like all these things kind of play a part in possible recommendations on types of makeup, so I guess my question is, do they, and then, do these things make a difference? Is there a difference between like everyday use type of makeup or what you would recommend for cosplay?
So when I do my cosplay looks, I do my generally everyday makeup, obviously with the, with the green leaves, obviously, green leaves, or I'll use like green highlighter, which is technically an eyeshadow, but I'll just put it as a highlighter to kind of add more of it. I don't generally use face paint as much because my experience with it, because I've only gotten it from a Halloween store, they're not that good. And so I recently got a face paint that's marketed as like a foundation from one of these pages on Instagram. And so that's what I use my Sally with.
Nice.
And so when I first did the blue, it was way too blue. So I had to get my face off. And this was for Cosplay World for their holiday theme.
Yeah.
And I already woke up like almost 3 hours before because I knew it was going to take me forever to do. And so I did just a wipe and my face is still green, but I ended up mixing the blue with my regular foundation. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope the consistencies, because stuff like that can matter, luckily. But I just use like a Maybelline one. I used to really be into the makeup scene, going to Sephora,
right,
and Ulta, not so much MAC. But and now it's like, being a mom now, I go to Five Below, I go to Walgreens, and I just grab some quick stuff. Yeah. My eyeshadows that I still have, they are from Sephora, the palettes and stuff. So I still use a high grade eyeshadow palettes, but I think the secret or the key to help it last longer, because even throughout the holiday convention at Cosplay World, I noticed like a little spot was starting to smudge a little bit, and then I started to put more on, but then the product started rubbing more and it actually took some more off. So I'm like, dang, I got to figure out something to do. So what I have done too is like setting spray and a primer. Nice. So I did not use a primer for the Sally, but I will try that next time to see if that'll make any difference. But that paint held up for, a good time. I was pretty impressed with it. Nice. I mean, I even painted my hands blue.
That's
for
crazy.
it. I did buy a Sally bodysuit, so I didn't have to paint my arms or my legs because I was already dreading painting my face. So with setting spray, they're not paying me to advertise them, but the best one I've ever used was All Nighter by Urban Decay.
Nice.
Which is from Sephora. I don't know if you can get it from Ulta. And then from the same brand, Urban Decay, is their eyeshadow primer, because the eyeshadow primer is really what locks in my eyeshadow too, because I have very hooded eyes. You're a guy, you already said you don't wear makeup, but for my girlies listening in, I have very hooded eyes. So when you don't wear a primer, like it can just bleed onto the top, and when you're blinking and it gets all over where you get a crease and setting spray and primer, I think, was the big key, because again, I use crappy makeup now and it still gets the job done.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because like I said, all the stuff that you do that requires makeup, it looks phenomenal. Like it really does look amazing. And obviously, because I mentioned it a bunch of times, my favorites, my personal favorites is your Sally, your Beetlejuice, and your Chucky, even though Chucky was quite a long time ago.
I do want to redo that one at some point too. So
I'm a huge horror fan as well. And
Me too.
I don't get to talk about horror enough on the show. I don't get to feature enough horror cosplayers. And then like when I do, there's not really like a big enough fan base for it. I'm like, come on guys. Like, where's all my horror
You're killing me here.
You know what I mean?
I know. Well, they'll come out more in Halloween time, right?
Yeah,
like,
it'll be more of that little like 2-week period where Halloween's talked about for a lot. You know what I mean? And then and then it's over.
We need it like all year round.
I love it. I miss talking about more horror stuff. I don't have enough people to talk about horror with. But we are going to get ready to wrap up, but before we do, I wanted to ask a little bit about like your future. Like where's your future going within cosplay? Like what are some plans that you want to partake in, like whether it be cosplay or whether it be doing more makeup tutorials or showing your progress type videos or something. And then like what's a cosplay that you've always wanted to do, but for whatever reason you just haven't yet?
Oh man. Okay, well, I'm going to answer the last question first.
Okay.
It would be, I would love to do Scarlet from G.I. Joe.
Nice. Okay.
But you see Joey's snake eyes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to match that.
Yeah.
I need to be on the same level.
His snake eyes is amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, dude, like, what the?
Yeah.
So if, I want to do Ravager too, but Ravager I have in the works.
Nice.
I just have to suit up and take freaking pictures, but
that would be cool. That would be really cool.
I know I got to hit up John. Like I'm like, John, I have Emma Frost I have to do. I have Yennefer that I need to redo. I have
sick. Yeah.
Hallows Eve that I still need professional pictures of. I have such a line. I'm like, oh my God.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely Scarlet because it needs to match Joey's snake eyes because there's no topping that, right?
Yeah.
So I guess with my future in cosplay is like, my biggest thing is what I see a lot with any hobby is people getting too consumed in it and it kind of burning them out and it kind of feels like a chore.
Yeah.
I've taken a little bit of a break, moving and baby but I'm so excited to dive back into it because I like the direction I've decided to go in when it comes to showing behind the scenes of makeups and even what makeup products I'm using. Because again, I want to disclose too. I'm like, you don't need to spend $30 on a small little mascara for you to reach the same look, I want to, it's for everyone. And the same thing with DIYs and stuff just anybody be able to replicate it in their own way, or maybe just gives them an idea and it strikes some sort of creative inside them. That's how me and Joey get along very well. It's like, we are so creative minds and we love to see other people's creativity and even people coming to us about what would we do or how would you do this? And Joey does a lot of that too. He does a lot of designing and stuff. I shouldn't have gotten high before this.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, no, I had Joey on an episode like way back. I think I think it actually has been like 2 years now, if I'm correct. And we talked about all kinds of different stuff, and he talked about different stories like from way back in his days, like hanging out with Nashville Night and Mass Mateo and Jeff Jenkins and the stories that for getting his boots and having to drive all the way back.
The way back. Yeah, it was like 4 hours in.
Yeah, such a great episode, but so outdated now for being like so old. I definitely welcome back Joey. Actually, the behind the scenes of it is I actually hit you guys both up to come on together, but we decided to do just give you the spotlight on yourself. But I do welcome Joey back, or both of you back at some point in the future. We'll let some time go by. You know what I mean? But this has been awesome. I can't wait to see everything that you have coming in the future. One of the standouts for me is seeing what you do with the Drowned. I think that's really cool. And then you mentioned your Ravager. I really want to see that as well. I think those are kind of some characters that you don't see as often. I always love to see characters that you don't see as often. This was an amazing time, and I can't wait to see you and Joey again in person soon and get to hang out and just take some dope content and do some dope shit. Going to be absolutely awesome. So thank you for coming. I'm so glad we finally got to do this.
Me.
Yeah, this has been
great.
Me
too.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Poison on Instagram, please go do so right now at P0ISON_. Like I said, on Instagram, and stay up to date with everything that she's got going on. And for everybody tuning in right now, I thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, for doing all of those beautiful things that you do over on youtube.com/Side Projekt Podcast. When you go down, you hit that big red subscribe button. When you do, it goes, and you get 100 sexy Projekt points. Thank you for watching and listening on Spotify. His videos are available on Spotify as well. When you follow, you rate, you do all the things that you do, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram at IGHatesChazzy. That is my personal. And if you're looking for the podcast as a whole, you can find it on Instagram at Side Projekt Podcast. And that's Project with a K. Side Projekt merch available on sideprojectpodcast.com. Ladies and gentlemen, for me, for Poison, we are out of here.